by the people that these films were made for. I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what that film meant to women of color, to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial. And for the third time, I don't hate white dudes.
It's a lot of drama for a mediocre film that turns an OG character like Nick Fury into a joke and a C-list hero into an overpowered one-punch man gal of a girl.
In himself, no need for introduction.
Friendly neighborhood, sarcastic asshole, always reviewing any kind of shit. I'm kind of sorry like that. Okay. Now let's get down and dirty. No, on the dark side. This is the light side of the internet of the power. And that was fucking awkward. Look at this fucking awkward white guy trying to give you what he cannot give himself. On to the review of Captain Marvel. All of this man basement dweller monkeys us versus pretty rich independent feminists for an okay movie that's marginally decent by being a Marvel film, and the side characters make the film a half-decent film. The movie's humor is not that good, and it derives most of the comedy from a fucking cat. A fucking cat. Okay, imagine if I put it like this. Let me break it down in rant with great characters we've had brought. If you want to assume I don't like this movie very much, well, because I'm whatever new label the bi-quarry political agendas come up with every year. Jessica Jones being mad at the world makes sense in her TV show because she got raped. Agent Carter's sass makes sense because of the era of the 1940s, 1950s. We see her in her solo spin-off TV show, which I plan to review at some point, but I haven't written the review yet. Wonder Woman being naive makes sense because she's in a world mostly dominated by women in an Amazonian land. Buffy the Vampire Slayer's thrill for adventure makes sense because she's a high school student and she still has a lot of growing up and maturing to do, and we see her story arcs and growth throughout the TV series. My point with this boxed in rant, we've seen better ladies with more depth and breeze politics in a Supergirl power film. Nothing of substance is in this film. Why I bring this up? Because there are two twists in this film. The Skrulls are the good and the Kree are like bad. Twists are common in Marvel film, like the twist in Iron Man 3, which I still debate with to this day with myself. Let down parallels. Let's drop down the parallel of the twist I just said to. Let's compare it to a Marvel movie. I've compared her to already other well done female actresses. Star-Lord found out his dad put a tumor in his mom in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You could see the very emotion in that scene.
The expansion, reason for my very existence would be over, so I did what I had to do. But it broke my heart to put that tumor in her head.
What?
No, all right. I know that sounds bad. Who in the hell do you think you are?
You killed my mother!
I tried so hard to find the form that best suited you.
And this is the thanks I get?
You really need to grow up.
Now, let's compare this to this film where we find out Ego turns out to be a bad guy. We see very well in Star-Lord's emotions how it pissed him off, as the clip I just showed. Now the second one, it adds more to the character. We see Star-Lord, we feel bad for him. And those complaining about the posters pre-promoting this film, granted, you have a point, every Marvel poster is brooding, but at least the actors and actresses in those films put a fucking shit stain of emotion in the actual movie. Black Widow may have acted cold and emotionless in Avengers poster, but she sure showed emotion in Age of Ultron and in the actual Avengers movie with her Ledger. So let's not chalk this down to common stereotypical sexism that Ghostbusters 2016 would like to have you wipe up down deep up fandom's ass. One, the reason I made that comparison is one adds, and by the way, Gail, Simone, don't look at her Twitter, just, unless you like dicks, a bag of dicks, then more bags dicks to you or whatever. But that point of criticism is of the poster is, yes, they're right. A lot of Marvel movie posters is brooding, but also the actors aren't just brooding in those posters. We see them carry the weight of a film. We see them show emotion. Now, ironically, people often criticize ladies for not showing emotion, and some people will say, oh, you're criticizing emotion, the character's lack of emotion inside this film, therefore you're part of the sexism, bigotry, examophobic, xenophobic, neophobic, whatever phobic of this century. But you know what? You create all your phobics you like, but it doesn't fix a shitty acting. A lot of people want to blame it on the script. No. The lines I heard in that film, when I watched that film, were they were well done lines. I've seen them in Marvel movies before. And yes, she showed a little bit of emotion, but it was mostly denoted to sass and I'm smugly better than you with how she reacted. I'm not smugly better than you, I'm just saying that's how she reacted with most of the scenes in the film. Mind you, she's an overpowered character, and the way we tend to feel more sympathy for overpowered characters, like, let's say, Superman, is by showing their weakness, like the use of kryptonite inside Superman movies. I don't feel anything for this character. There are other girl heroes I prefer more, I like more, handled much more better. And this is not the first girl power, superpower. There have been good ones before, not that long ago, Wonder Woman. There's been good ones in the 90s, 80s with the Alien franchise. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a TV show. This has nothing to do with sexism, it has to do with a mediocre movie being advertised as the second coming of fucking vaginas. Now, since I chose to review this out of order, like the film chose to put itself out of order in the middle of nowhere that feels like a Phase 1 Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, let's start criticizing the third act. Something Marvel usually always sucks at since Phase 1. About there too. Most of the film builds to the third act. Where this film suffers from it is by use of the second act. Most of the characters overcoming stuff has to deal with stereotypical words, most stereotyped things men would say that men would not say at night. I'm sure they existed, but her best friend gets no development in the film. But it makes sense since in the sequel probably get more development and probably give her daughter powers. That's why they put the character inside the film. The first act is badly shot with confused face, and only things that makes it fun is the 90s aesthetic and the 90s greatest hits soundtrack that's an off-brand Guardians of the Galaxy that will surely blow up on iTunes, as this film has already blown up at the box office, not because of girl power. There have been better TV shows than this, there have been better films than this, because it has the Marvel brand, and the Marvel brand sells. Look at the Endgame tickets already. The movie's not even out yet, and most of the tickets are sold out. Had this not been a Marvel movie before Endgame, it would have done as low as Ant-Man and Wasp, and I'd argue Ant-Man and Wasp is a mild bit more entertaining in this film, and has a huge impact on Endgame than this film. Hell, I enjoy Wasp and Ant-Man and Wasp. That's why my review is called Wasp, and are sought to poke fun at all this nonsense on the internet. But this is not a good Marvel movie. It ain't the worst movie I've ever seen. It's just I want to be nice to it and give it a 6 out of 10. I really do. I really do. But it's a 5 out of 10, I'm sorry. If you want space opera, watch Infinity War, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy 1. It's much better than watching this movie. If you want to watch female power, watch Wonder Woman, watch Alien series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Agent Carter, Jessica Jones. It's a long list. If you want to watch DC female power, watch Supergirl. Do not waste your money on this trash. You don't like my opinion? Wasn't made for you.